Neil from Essex here, out to go for a ride in this awesome Krone Big X forage harvesters. These are some of the most powerful large machines that we sell. This one is really special in a couple of ways. We're going to spend some time in the cab out here today with Kevin from Fahnestock Farms here in Mount Joy, Pennsylvania. Come along with me. I think it will be an interesting ride.
Essex, a helping hand with your land.
So I had to chuckle this morning when I went to come out here because I went out and poked my head out with Jeremy and I said, is there anybody out running a harvester that I can go see today? And he didn't even feel like he needed to call you. He was like, we're just gonna jump in the truck and go. I was like, wait, if I'm gonna come out with cameras and drones and stuff, man, you gotta give the guy a heads up first. So tell me a little bit about your relationship with him. That you guys know each other so well just to be able to jump out and do that.
Yeah, right. We actually go to church together now.
Okay.
I see him every week, and yeah, we just had a great relationship over the last quite a few years. And I think he was in the chopper with me for probably 5 hours yesterday.
And a couple pizza boxes in his truck this morning.
Yes, yeah.
So is he just riding along, or was he actually helping you work?
I think he was trying to make a sale, is what he was trying to do. let's be honest here.
Well, it's good to see our guys out doing that kind of stuff, whether they're trying to make a sale or not.
Right.
You know, the understanding of the equipment and that kind of stuff comes from being out here with guys like you and not sitting behind his desk.
Probably one of the main reasons why I bought this machine. A shout out for Brandon Doster. Worked for me for quite a few years before he went to Essex. It was sad to see him leave, but I knew almost from day one when he started working for me that someday he was going to make a really good mechanic for somebody.
Yeah.
And I wasn't big enough that I could hire a full-time mechanic. So having him at my fingertips 24/7 pretty much so.
Yeah.
Is very valuable.
That's a great testimony for selling equipment like this. It's not take all the credit away from Jeremy and his pizzas now.
Right, that's right. The salesman's just a pretty face.
The salesman's just a pretty face. It's the guys that come out with the truck when something's wrong.
Yes.
That really that is what makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
So you guys are central Pennsylvania farmers here. You're actually only about 5 miles away from our Mount Joy store.
Yeah, probably not even that far. It's kind of nice, actually.
It makes it convenient. Can drive the machine right down the road if we need to for some reason. How long is your family farm for?
It's third generation.
Okay.
So, Grandpa started it back in early 60s, I guess it was. Milked 400 cows.
Okay.
And
so the corn that we're out here doing today is pretty much exclusively going for your dairy then?
yes.
Yeah.
Yep. All my crops do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we're chopping right now in August, right? End of August?
Yes.
It's a little early.
Yep.
Not been the best growing year.
No, that's what happens when it doesn't rain.
Yeah. We go through good spots and not so good spots in the field here. It looks like we're actually in a good spot right now.
Yeah, this is some of the best I've chopped all year so far. Still not 25-ton corn solids or anything like that,
Right.
but
So how does that, as far as a business owner, right? How does that impact your operation when it's something as simple as a little bit of a drought happens here in the peak of the growing season? What is the impact for you in that?
oh, it's pretty huge. Like last year, I didn't have to buy any grain corn at all. This year, I'll probably have to buy 20,000 bushel or so. So $6 corn, that makes a difference.
Mm-hmm. So you're basically supplementing because you're not getting the nutritional value up out of the field here.
Right.
You're going to have to supplement.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Less starch in the corn silage, so then you need to feed more corn. Plus, you get less.
So as an operator of a machine like this, there's a lot going on for you to pay attention to, right?
Yes.
So as you're driving along here, what all are you paying attention to?
Number one, well, row independent heads are pretty nice. You don't even have to worry about staying on the road quite as much as you used to have to. But keeping the silage in the cart is probably the biggest thing.
Not blowing it out in the
Right.
ground. So am I right? The machine on this has some feelers out there that help keep
Yes.
you on the rows?
It does have
Okay.
auto steer. On contours here like this, it's not, well, I plant with an 8-row planter and I have a 6-row head, so
Okay.
it doesn't work the best if the guy planting didn't do his job properly.
So to what degree are you steering then? Are you just,
Right now on this contour I'm steering all the time, but I get
Okay.
on nice straight rows, I can kick the auto steer in.
and just let it go?
Yeah.
Say when we're out in a combine, there's a lot of concern about the height of the head and
Right.
how the reels are running. What are you paying attention to down there as far as the head goes?
This has auto sense on height,
Okay.
so I really don't worry about anything.
Your really sole concern is keeping the thing on
Right.
in the
Yeah.
row
Yes.
and then keeping an eye on the cart.
Yes.
So this is a 480,
Yes.
right? Which is in Krone world the smallest harvester that they make.
Yes.
Makes a lot of sense for us here in Smallfield, central Pennsylvania.
Right. When I bought it 4 years ago, that was plenty big enough.
Okay.
As you get bigger, you wish you always had more, but no, this suits my needs quite well. Efficiency is when you have carts continually running and nobody sitting.
Right.
Sometimes you get these really big machines. Well, then you just need more help, and we do everything myself, so
Right.
I don't hire anybody to help. So having enough, it just flows.
So even now, where we're sitting here waiting
Right.
for carts to catch up with us, if you had a bigger machine, you would just be
Sitting longer.
sitting longer.
Right.
Right. Yeah. I know we've had phone calls before from guys who just starting out. Yeah, I'm gonna get into a custom harvesting business. Give me the biggest harvester that you got.
Right.
Right.
Bigger's always better, right?
Bigger's always better, right? And not understanding all of the other stuff that comes along with keeping that machine fed and keeping the carts moving and
Yeah.
that efficiency side of
Yeah. I still fill some silos yet, so you can you can easily bury the blower with this machine.
Right.
So,
works great for our small
Yes.
fields.
yes. Wish I had an 8-row head, but outside of that, always something on the wish list.
Yeah. So we're going, what, 3, 4, 5 mile an hour. An 8-row head would be
That'd
too
be
much. You'd have to run too slow.
On a year like this year, it'd be fine. Like
Okay.
last year, when it was really, then you'd be down at like 2.5, 3 probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This year, we're running right around 5.5 to 6 mile an hour.
Okay, so you could handle an 8-row this year, probably.
Yeah.
So who has the harder job here, you or the cart driver?
That's a good question. My job's easy if the cart operator does a good job.
Depends who's in the seat of each machine, probably.
Exactly.
Right. If the guy over here is blowing stuff all over the place.
He can either make me look really good or really bad.
So you will fill that cart in what? How long?
Boy. I don't know if I ever really even timed it, to be honest with you.
So to what? Probably 2.5, 3 minutes?
Yeah, if it's long straight rows where I'm continually chopping, yeah.
Right. And today we have, what, 3 carts?
Yes.
Am I right in that? Yep. Just
Yep.
gotta keeping an eye on who's going back and forth. So yeah, when you have that sizing conversation, you go through and say, hey, we could have a bigger head, we could have a bigger machine, we could have more horsepower, but then we've got to have additional tractors and carts and everything to keep
Right.
up with all of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And extra drivers.
Right. The more time that we spend with the machine sitting there idling, the more fuel we're unnecessarily burning, and so,
Yeah.
yep. Kind of being efficient is all based upon the tractors keeping up with the harvester, with the
Yeah. It's all a balancing act. I mean, it's,
So do you drive in here when you're gauging the load on the machine? Like we're in some good, nice, tall, decent looking corn again. Are you driving mostly by ear? By the sound of the engine or
sound of the engine and watching my gauge
your
here.
load gauge?
I usually keep it maxed out at 100% there. And a nice feature on this machine is if this cutter head starts dying down too slow, it'll stop the feed rolls
Okay.
to keep from plugging the machine. So you do have that safety net there. When the guy in the cart's running away from you, you can keep speeding up, trying to keep up with him.
Right, because he doesn't know how
Right.
much the machine's struggling
Right,
necessarily.
and if you do hit that point, it'll just kick the feed rolls off and keep you from plugging the machine.
So how has that changed? Because you guys have been doing this for 3 generations now, right? So I assume
Yes.
you've seen a lot of different harvesting equipment.
Started out with a 782 pull type when I was a kid.
Okay.
Then we moved up to a 900 pull type. Ran that for many years. Then went to an FX 4025, self-propelled. And then transitioned away from that to a Deere for a couple of years. Had that for 5 years and then bought the Krone.
And how has the technology, the machines, and that kind of stuff changed over those years? Is that
Phenomenally. Just the ease of putting the processor in and out has become a 10-minute job rather than a painstaking hours job.
yeah?
That and just the technology on this screen, just as far as what you can do with the tap of the screen, how you can change length of cut, head speed, just about endless.
That looks pretty good back in here.
It's phenomenal back in here. I mean, I know that over this direction had got a little bit more rain than I did at the home farm, and this year it makes all the difference. I have some corn not more than a couple miles from here that I don't think it'll even do 50 bushel.
Really?
Yeah.
It's funny how you can go from one spot to the next and have such different.
Yeah.
A year like this where rain meant so much.
It's been so windy and several days where the humidity was really low that felt nice, but boy, it sure dried things out.
Yeah.
It's all about technology. This corn right here, I did an experiment this year. We injected hog manure.
Okay.
And I'm trying to decide if that's why this is so much better or if it's because it got more rain. Could be a combination of both, probably.
So you chose to do that because what, fertilizer costs are
Yes.
so high?
And hog manure leaches so easily, so thought this year would be the best time to try it if ever.
Yeah. So when you do that, you get you don't have hogs, so that's not, you get it from a neighboring farmer.
Yeah. Farm I rent here actually has a hog barn on where I get the manure.
Yeah. So you're talking about all the settings and the changes and stuff that you can make on the monitor. So obviously your 2 big indicators in the middle there are load on the machine, engine RPMs, fuel consumption, temps, like all your normal stuff.
Right.
But then you had control over what? Length of cut?
Length of cut, processor gap, head speed. One feature I really like about this chopper that I think is unique to Krone, it has hydraulic suspension on the rear axle.
Okay.
So you can, I think the main reason they put it on there was for pulling the processor out. You can jack the back of the machine up and roll the processor right in underneath it. But it also allows you to raise and lower the back of the machine. And in doing that, allows the machine to turn a lot shorter.
Okay.
Which is nice with a 6-row head. I can go out and turn and come right back in again.
As you're going through, you're making those changes. What's the impact on the crop that you're producing by tweaking that stuff? What are you looking for exactly?
This actually has a automatic. It senses the moisture of the crop and can change the length of cut on the go.
Okay.
So, especially in a year like this year, when you have dry knobs and green low areas, it will, as you get into drier stuff, it'll shorten the length of cut because dry, fluffy feed doesn't pack near as well.
Okay.
Less digestible. So it decreases the length of cut, and as you get into greener stuff, it lengthens. It does that automatically while you're chopping.
So the implications of that are so that your trench packs better.
Yes.
Once you cut the crop down, and the why is that so important? The reason for doing that is
when you're packing, you need to get all the oxygen out, which is very important so it ferments properly. And also for digestibility. As it gets drier, you want to cut it a little shorter.
so it makes a better quality feed crop
Right.
by right. So potentially you came out here and you set all this stuff up wrong. Your trench doesn't pack properly. Your crop rots, and all this goes to waste if you don't know how to do the settings properly.
Yes. If I wouldn't say it all goes to waste, but there's little things for what makes a couple extra pounds of milk, and
There's little 1% that make it profitable at the end of the year.
yes, exactly. Farming is a business of small gains of profitability, so
Yeah.
you gotta maximize everything.
That's ours is too. It's you're always watching the little things. It makes all the difference at the end of the year.
Pennies make dollars.
Yeah. Did you run Kemper heads at all on your other machines?
I did on my deer, yes. I ran the small drum.
Okay. And how do you find? So this is obviously a different setup, and a setup that's very unique to Krone with the chain gathering head. How do you find that different?
It's a much better design. The small drum Kemper was good when it first came out. I thought it was wonderful. I have a row independent head, but it dropped. The worst thing I didn't like about it, it dropped a lot of ears.
Okay.
This head here, stalk goes in standing up and just lays over and goes in cut end first.
So you're not dragging stuff across
Correct.
the machine as much.
And you don't have the stalk shaking as it goes across. Like the big drum machine, the Kemper heads now are much better. Never experienced one of them, but these heads are do really well in down corn as well.
You do have to follow the row though, as opposed to being independent, right?
You don't have to.
Okay.
No, you can kind of go wherever you want. It does a little bit better if you follow the row, but I don't get too fussy about.
So if you were trying to clean up a funny corner or something like that,
I just round it off. When I'm opening up, I just round off corners and then come back and get them.
It's not like you can if you want to.
Right. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens with that milk price is really good right now. But it's backing off. The input costs are just like astronomical.
There's so many moving.
There's no good way to try to make like any kind of educated
Right.
business decisions right now because you just flat out don't know.
Yeah, just keep going, and at the end of the year, we're all going to be surprised at, well, good or bad.
Yeah, right.
It could go either way. So on that note, you think the general public seems to think that you get all kinds of support from the government on that kind of stuff. So if things go bad, you have a drought year, the milk price dries up, what happens? Lean years? Uncle Sam doesn't come running in with his checkbook to bail everybody out.
No, it's you pull the belt buckle a notch tighter and figure out how to do it.
Cross your fingers that the next year is a little bit
We've been pretty
more
spoiled.
forgiving.
We've been pretty spoiled here the last couple of years in our area. We have phenomenal crops, but all that does is push land rent higher and higher, and at the end of the day, I don't think you make any more money.
That's those 1% we were talking about, right? It's trying to keep your eye on where things make sense and where they don't. I hope you enjoyed that. If you enjoy this large farm equipment, we have got an awesome group of sales staff that gets out in the field with these guys that really understands how this equipment works. Be glad to hook you up with a bunch of them. They have all kinds of tools in order to make your operation a little bit more profitable. So if you're shopping for a piece of equipment and we can help, or if you've got parts and service needs for a machine you've already got, give us a call at Messick's. We're available at 800-222-3373 or online at Messick's.com.
The salesman's just a pretty face.
The salesman's just a pretty face. I don't know if we can call Jeremy a pretty face, but...